And we are live. Hello, everyone. Welcome into the Talking Reds. I am Andreas. I am new here. This is my first time ever being live. So, yeah, I hope you like me as a host. And let's do some talking about Liverpool then, right? Was a busy night, I'd say. From the here we go to the shutdown or denial of agreement, you could say, shortly after. We will talk about it all and go through it all, and yeah, try and make sense of it. Really, before we do that, I would like to say, if you enjoyed the content, if you are new here, please do like, please do share, and please do subscribe to the Talking Reds channel. We are trying to grow as much as possible, and yeah, any help, any like, any engagement would help push us out to more people, and yeah, help grow this community and make it even bigger and better. But yeah, let's start off with the bomber from Mr. Fabrizio Romano himself. I will have to tweet up exactly from Fabrizio himself. Let me just pull it up. As he posted last night, the exclusive Florian Wirtz to Liverpool. Here we go. Liverpool verbally agree deal in principle with Bayer Leverkusen for package reaching 150 million, which equates to 127 million pounds. Add-ons included player side agreed 2 weeks ago with move now imminent. Wirtz set for medical and contract signing. Now, I think it's fair to say when that happened, every single Liverpool fan at that point probably exploded with excitement because we all kind of knew this deal was going to happen eventually. But yeah, getting it to happen, getting it completed still took some time. And we've been hearing the same old news over and over and over again. Close, very close, very, very close. So to finally get that, here we go, and completion. Yeah, that was really, really exciting, and you could see that in all groups and fans across the social media exploding into joy. Yeah, I don't. We all kind of almost was relieved that we finally got it over the line. So yeah, and it was followed up by German media, Philipp Heinz, who is a Leverkusen reporter, saying the same thing, who said that 140, which is 180 million pounds, would be guaranteed, and the rest would be in bonuses. So it could reach the 150 million mark, but not 100%. And then some time went by, and then we kind of got news from the English media. You know, the journalist that gets these briefs, especially Ornstein and Doyle and Alex Crook as well, who I would all deem to be fairly good, but obviously people that need the news from the club. While they were all saying it's very close, and Ornstein specifically using the word it's in the final stages, but saying there is no agreement yet. And I think this is where it's important to mention that Romano, in his official tweet, the Here We Go tweet, said it is a verbal agreement, meaning no formalized offer, no written offer has officially been accepted, which is, it's only when that happens, Ornstein or Joyce or all of these other journalists will say it's done. When it's a formalized written offer that has been accepted and contracts and all these stuffs are being signed. So I think that the denial as such isn't necessarily a denial of an accepted offer. It's just the official agreement isn't there yet, as no documents or formalized offer has been made. I expect that to come very, very soon. I would say within the next few hours. I would be surprised if by 1 p.m. English time we won't have hear more about an agreement being done from the English media. But as said, the Wirtz has agreed to join us. He only wants to join us, and Romano also on the podcast this morning said that there was an email from Leverkusen last night to confirm to Liverpool their intention to accept the final terms proposed. We now wait for formal steps, exchange documents, approve, sign, medical test, then it would be official. So again, I expect it to. That is when you will hear Ornstein and all these other journalists confirming it official. So saying, as we hear here from Storm in a Teacup, saying it's Ornstein versus Romano, I don't necessarily think that. It's just that Romano may have sources that has given him confirmation that Ornstein relies on other sources, specifically the clubs, especially Liverpool. He will only listen to what the club says. And he may not have been able to get the confirmation from the club. Hence why, not denial, but standing off, because he wants to be sure that his sources are confirming it first before putting his name on it. So, but Florian Wirtz will be a Liverpool player, and I don't know how many of you like the plane tracking stuff, but there is a plane scheduled to leave Cologne, which is where Wirtz is actually from, and where his family lives, and where he lives as well, as it is very close to Leverkusen. A private jet plane, the one Liverpool typically uses to fly in players, scheduled from Cologne to Manchester in the next few hours. It is set to depart at 6 p.m. tonight. So yeah, I think it's fair to say that Florian Wirtz will be a Liverpool player, and he will probably land today to complete a medical tomorrow. We have a comment here from Marcy474. Thank you for the comment. Fabrizio is the most trustworthy journalist with millions of followers. He has big connections. The other journalists are slow to get the news. Again, I'm not sure they're slow to get news, but every journalist has different sources and a different need or criteria for confirmation. I know Ornstein and The Athletic typically use the double confirmation, meaning they have to have at least two sources confirm the news before they can actually put it out. Romano may not use that because he is different, because he is typically a guy that uses agents more for his news, to push it out in the media. So it's different sources. It's what they rely on, and who they trust, and how much they trust it, and how much they're willing to put it out. But as Storm here very much says, Romano wouldn't roll the dice with the integrity with this one too much on it. I fully agree. It's too big of a deal to roll the dice on. Had it been a smaller deal, you could say, I don't know, take the example of when I presume Harvey Elliott will move on. Let's say he was sold for 40 million, and you put a "here we go." That wouldn't get the same problem if it wasn't true, because it's not the same. But this is a record-breaking transfer. Yeah, and yes, I did mention this with the Philippines. Yeah, so I agree. When it comes to deals, you typically listen to the nation that the player is getting sold from. In this case, Germany, and yeah, they say it's done. So I fully agree with you, Storm. It is done, but the club are playing it down until it is formally signed. Hence why the denial from English journalists. But yeah, that's kind of the news so far. There's not much else. We heard some Kirkus news about him potentially moving soon. I expect that to pick up once the Wirtz deal is formalized. But yeah, that's pretty much the news at this given time. So I'm happy to move on to other topics. Any questions, topics you want to talk about? I can start here with the real deal. Thank you. I noticed you mentioned it earlier, but yeah, I think Szoboszlai is too good to be benched. He has 22 contributions this season in all competitions. Yeah, I may be one of a different breed, kind of like you here, the real deal, where I think Dominik Szoboszlai is a magnificent player. I think he's brilliant. Obviously, he has bad games. Everyone has bad games at times. But I genuinely do believe he's a really, really good player. And I think he's really important for us now, in the future as well. We paid a lot of money for him, but he's really good. Listen, will he be the starting 10? I don't think so. I don't think you buy Wirtz to play him on the left. Yes, he can play off the left. He can also play as a false 9 and as a 10. And probably in certain games, we will use him on the left or in a false 9. But I think primarily Wirtz will play as a 10 because you don't go breaking the British transfer record to play someone in a position that they don't want to play. However, I think it is important to mention that Szoboszlai at Red Bull Leipzig played primarily as a left winger or on the left side in a system. So he can play there as well. I do also think he could play as a false 9 in certain games if we use the system we did against City, for example, with double 10s. That's where Szoboszlai would be brilliant. And I also think he could play as an 8 if you need him to. If you want more physicality. Obviously, McAllister is, to me, he was probably our best midfielder this season. I know Gravenberg was amazing, but I still think generally across the entire season, McAllister was better. But if you have games where you need more physicality and more running, Szoboszlai could go in there as well. So I don't think he will be benched as such. I think he will play plenty of games, as pointed out here by Hochschlaw. Sorry if I mispronounced that. We will play plenty of games, especially if we're going to compete on all four fronts, which the main aim is. There will be plenty of games, hopefully more rotation as well. Kevin Roberts here with another. Clubs have said no deal or fee agreed yet. I've been talking about this already, Kevin. This is because the clubs have verbally agreed to a deal, as Romano also mentioned multiple times, but the contracts have not been formally signed yet, and the offer probably isn't written formally yet. And until the written offer is formalized and the contracts are signed, neither club can officially say it is a deal because it's not signed yet. Hence why you get the rejection or denial from Ornstein and the other English journalists, because they've been told from especially the Liverpool side, hey, we've not signed any documents yet, we haven't formalized it yet. And until that point, the club will deny it. But I expect it to happen very, very sharpish. Yeah. That is kind of my thoughts on it. I'm new here, but I do have an X account. I post a lot of threads, and due to that, I have gained a few contacts. And one of the ones that I trust, I will drop a little bit of news here. One of the accounts that I really trust with news, because he doesn't typically post a lot of news, but when he does, it does turn out to be true. He mentioned to me privately that in recent days we have reached out to the camp of Lautaro Martinez as a potential striker option. Now, I see the fit. I do see the fit, but I'm not totally sold on him as a player. But what do you guys think? Would you want Lautaro Martinez as a striker in our slot system, or are you all in on Isaac or Ekitike or Shesko, Gyökeres? Who would you prefer as a striker? Because I still firmly believe, even after Wirtz and Kirkes, I firmly believe we will sign a striker. And I also firmly believe we will be in the market for a central defender and hopefully a midfielder as well. And then the winger will depend on what we do with Luis Diaz. I think we will see Darwin sold. Unfortunately, the Club World Cup transfer window has closed. So unless any Saudi club wants him post that, I don't think he will go to Saudi. I still think Luis Diaz will end up going, probably because Barcelona likes him. But yeah, I think he'll go to Saudi Arabia, if I'm being totally honest. And I think we sell one of Quansah or Gomez. I think we see Tsimikas leave, and maybe a midfielder, other than Harvey Elliott, who is fairly likely to leave at this point. Alex here says, the fee has been agreed for about a week, a structure that has been discussed. Maybe. I think it's also about how much of the fee is guaranteed and how much is bonuses, how many of them are easy, or that kind of stuff. But I don't think Liverpool has had any rush to complete it, because we aren't playing in the Club World Cup. So why would we rush? We knew he was going to play for Germany. He could have gotten injured, but he didn't. But we used the time to try and negotiate the best deal for us. And listen, I think that's fine for the club. Yeah, no rush. We knew he was going to come. So yeah. Here we have a comment. Bayer Leverkusen want as much money as they can assure being paid. Yeah, obviously. I mean, German clubs. I'm from Denmark. I'm also half Irish, but I follow a lot of German football, and they have this 50+1 ownership, meaning that the fans own a majority of every club. Obviously, I really like that. I wish we had that in more leagues, because I think that allows for just more purity, I guess you could say, in the sport. But that's kind of how it is. But German clubs, other than Bayern, because Bayern are a commercial powerhouse, all the other clubs depend on selling well. You see this with Dortmund in the Jude deal, the Haaland deal, the Sancho deal as well. And now Leverkusen, they're selling their best player in quite a long time. And obviously they will want as much money as possible, especially after losing Frimpong for quite cheap and Jonathan Tah on a free, and their manager as well. So obviously they will want as much money as possible. Another comment here from Raj. I think that's best I don't try to pronounce your last name to not offend you. Florian Wirtz is a generational talent. The German Coutinho, but better. Do you think we need a striker, or can Wirtz and Salah carry the team? But if we get Isaacs, then it's game over for other teams. Brilliant question, by the way. Creatively, Wirtz and Salah will create so many problems for other teams. whether that be by themselves for them to score, um, or for others. Do we need a striker? I do firmly believe we need a striker. I don't think Diaz. Obviously, he deputied well. He did a job, but I don't think he's a striker. I think that's fair to say. Nunez, no. Look, I love Darwin because he plays with so much energy and passion, but I don't think he's the striker we need at this given time. And yeah, Jota, if he was fit, is a brilliant striker, but he's never fit, and that's it's kind of his own fault because he wants to go in for every single ball. So I do think we need a striker. I really like Ekitike, but I see where people are coming from when they say it's not for them. I know Asim from BNR mentioned that he has been told that we are still in active talks with Isaac's camp. So I think we're still there if he doesn't sign a contract. And as I mentioned, I was told that we have reached out about Lautaro Martinez, who would also be a good striker. However, yeah, whether we go big for another striker, I don't know. I think we'll have to see. And as Mustafa points out here, Tsimikas, Beck, Williams, Phillips, Stevenson, Ramsey, Gomez, Elliott, Nunez, Chiesa pick up about 150 million. Yeah, and listen, add to that. I think you'll add. I think you'll easily add Darwin. Darwin there is 50 in himself. Elliott, I think, is 40. Gomez is 30. We've already sold Trent for 10 million, whether you like it or not. And we've sold Kelleher for a bit of a cheap price, but it is what it is. Yaros seems to be angling to move to Ajax to join Johnny Heitinger. So we may get some money there. You can also add Morton into this, who I cannot see staying. I think he deserves a chance. And yeah, Jota, maybe, depending on Diaz, and yeah, maybe Diaz as well. I don't know. I think we could see a lot of outgoings, and that will really make us. I think outgoing wise, we sell 200 to 250 million this summer, and that will allow for spending even after the Wirtz deal has been completed and all of the rest of it. So yeah, I don't particularly think we're done. I actually think we might go huge again, even post Wirtz and Kirkes and Frimpong. Here we have Hooks again saying Yaros is good. Yes, Yaros is good, and he's actually also a homegrown player, which is something we actually kind of do need to keep an eye on. But Yaros is also turning 24 soon. He played first-team football at Sturm Graz, not last season, but the season before, where they won the title. He came back, was our third choice, played literally 20 minutes at Palace when Kelleher was injured and Ali got injured. That was it. That was all the playing time he got. He didn't play in the cups or anything like that. And with Mamadashvili coming in as the second choice, he would then have to be third choice. And I don't think he wants to be that, especially if Ajax and Johnny Heitinga are offering him to be the first team goalie, which it's looking like they are. So I like Yaros. I think he's a good player. I think he has a lot of upside and talent. He has the size and the ability to be a really good goalie. Kind of like the same as Kelleher in a way. But I don't think he'll stay. I think he needs to go on and have a career elsewhere. And we've brought in the young Hungarian, Amin Pesic, who I think will step up to be the third choice. Maybe Harvey Davies if you want to keep a homegrown player. But yeah, we have two really good players as first choice in Alisson and second choice in Mamadashvili. So yeah, Fireburn here comes in with a happy Florian Wirtz day. Yeah, hopefully we do get it today. Paddy says, media report says deal, and follows up with ain't done. We've already talked about this quite a lot. Germany, reports in Germany say it's done. Fabrizio says it's verbally agreed. The reason why you hear the denial from the English media is because they cannot officially say it's done until the offer is formalized on paper, in written form, and signed off by both clubs. They have not done that yet, but it is a verbal agreement at this point. The contracts will be sent and signed today, and at that point, you will then see the agreement. Fireburn says it's only the medical until it's officially, I'm assuming, yeah. But I think it's fair to assume once a player is scheduled in for a medical, they will then end up signing, because that is kind of, you expect a professional footballer to be able to pass a medical. I know we've been burned by that with Fekir in the past, but I don't see it happening this time. So yeah. Wicked Vids Wednesday from Mustafa. I don't think you'll see it today. I don't think you'll see it officially done today, but apparently he's flying in today. That's at least some planes suggest that. And if that is true, then we probably have a medical tomorrow, and then we have Florian on Friday, which would also be a nice way to go on to the weekend, really. Yeah. Comment here. Welcome into a brand new morning show. Please, if you enjoy it, maybe for me as my first time hosting here, do drop a like, do subscribe, do share whatever you can, and yeah, really appreciate if you do that. You say here from Paddy, transfer window closed. Yeah, for 5 more days. It opens again on the 16th. And you can still sign players today, but you cannot register them until the 16th. So yeah. Mustafa asks, which centre back should Liverpool get? I think there are quite a lot of good options, if I'm honest. I like Jorel Atto from the Netherlands and Ajax, but he's young and he's not the tallest. So I'm not sure on him, but I mentioned him because he was mentioned here. I really like Usman Diomande. I think he has everything you need to be a top-class defender. He's big, strong, good on the ball, can play with both feet. So yeah, I really like him. Antonio Silva as well from Benfica, another really, really good player. Both-footed. Was really high thought of, but yeah, not as much anymore. And here we have this covers left back too about Hato. That is true, but with us signing Kirkes and Robertson still being here, I don't see the need for that particularly. And I know Slot wants, at least from what I have analyzed, he likes his defenders to be quite big and aerially dominant. Another name you could mention is Jared Branthwaite, but I just don't think it's realistic we sign him, if I'm being completely honest. Malik Tor from Milan is a solid player. He's really good, especially if you look at the data. Lukeba, we've been mentioned with, but again, not the tallest, not the most physically dominant, so kind of wary there as well. And yeah, look, there are a lot of good players, a lot of good defenders, but unfortunately, most of the left-sided ones, which is what we're looking at, are already at really big clubs. I think we missed out on Pacho last year. You can see him at PSG, how well he's doing. I would have loved to have had him, but yeah. Unfortunately, I think most of the really, really good ones are already at very big clubs, and I don't know if we can, if there's a need or willingness to sell. This is about Branthwaite, not having an Everton player coming hardly happens. True, but they want Ben Doak, so maybe there's a deal to be done there. You can have Doak, but we will pay 40 more million and get Branthwaite as well. Maybe. I don't know. I'm just kind of, brainstorming some names. I also really like Mickey van de Ven. I know he has injury problems, but I think he would really, really suit our system. He's quick, he's strong, good on the ball, can drive forward, but also in our system where he doesn't have to constantly sprint, I think he would be really good and maybe not have as many injuries as he has suffered with under Ange in general. As said here, by paperwork was reportedly faxed over to Liverpool with a verbal agreement by Fabrizio. Exactly. So once that is formalized and signed, you will see the big guns confirming it. It is a matter of time. But we've gone on for about half an hour now. We've gone through the news, talked to a few players of interest. And yeah, my first time hosting. I hope I did okay. I hope you liked it. And I'm excited to be here and doing more for all of you. Please do drop a like, drop a comment, share, subscribe. We would massively appreciate it here at the Talk and Reds.